Hello. Good evening, everyone. No? So this is Berio of BerioTrades.com. So welcome back to another market update video. So today is April 24, 2024, and our main agenda is to become updated and to discuss the following happenings in the US market, the Philippine market as well, and the crypto markets. So let's dive in. So starting with our ETF heat map. So let's look at the SPY on a week-on-week basis. So, still unchanged, 0.14% up lang siya. So, medyo nag-recover na rin kahit papaano. But our Qs is still down negative 1.35%. So, kitang-kita pa rin na our tech sector is still weak. Kitang-kita rin with our XLK na ETF na down negative 2.39% actually. So, mahina yung tech sector natin. But looking at our XLF, our financial sector, Spider Financial Select sector is up 3.11%. XLP, our consumer staples, is up 2.91%. So this is actually good. XLU, 4.62%. Kita natin na one of the main reasons ng pag-recover ng market right now is coming from this main sectors. So XLV, somewhat flat, plus 0.05. 1.05% lang siya this week. XLE is up 1.13%. We can see that somewhat nag-recover na rin yung energy sector natin after a 1 week pullback from our energy sector names. So Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 1.39%. So based on this T index, we can say that the broader market is counter rallying or somewhat recovering, but our tech sector is still kind of weak. So medyo mahina pa siya. So special mention is KWEB, China Equities and Internet Sector ETF or Market Group ETF plus 6.55%. So good recovery and good movement coming from that market group. So let's move forward sa fixed income natin, yung bonds natin. So TLT is up 1.11%, HYG 1.05% up. So given na nag-recover na yung natin, yung fixed income ETFs natin, we can tell that most likely our yields is actually pulling back na rin. So one of the main reasons ng market pullback recently is the rise in bond yields. So next, looking at our commodity ETF. So GLD is down negative 2.33% on a week-on-week basis. SLV, the silver ETF or silver trust ETF is down negative 4.14%. So we can say that our commodity, our precious metals is kinda pulling back actually, So nagpo-pull back siya. So next, let's look at our Bitcoin ETFs. IBIT is up 5.16%, FBTC 5.19% up. So all over the board, yung mga crypto ETFs natin is up actually. So after the Bitcoin halving, okay naman yung reaction ng mga BTC ETF natin. So yun, let's move forward. Let's look at the individual names, So individual names on a week-on-week basis. So all over the board, we can see that main tech names like Nvidia, SMCI, yung mga true market leaders natin for the past 6 months is actually on a decline, strong decline on a week-on-week basis. So Nvidia is down negative 4.64%, SMCI is down negative 15.5% halos, Netflix negative 4.9%, Microsoft down negative 1.69%. Amazon, one of the Mag 7 names, is also down. So halos lahat ng Mag 7 names natin like Nvidia, Amazon, Microsoft, Tesla is down on a week-on-week basis. Ang pinaka-resilient enough lang actually is Google. So hindi ko mahanap si Meta, pero actually I think in a flat movement lang si Meta. Like yon, Meta. Negative 4.4% lang siya. So halos unchanged. So we can see that the majority of the Mag 7 names is on a decline. So one of the main reasons na ang laki ng pullback nung Friday, So main contributor ng big sharp drop ng main indices natin is coming from Nvidia, Microsoft, Amazon, and Tesla. So speaking of Tesla, earnings na release yesterday kanina post market. And right now, pre-market, Tesla is doing good. So plus positive 12.57% siya right now, pre-market, no? So good movement kahit na we can see that Tesla is having a bad earnings drop, no? So EPS is missed, negative 8.54%, 4.14% missed on the reported versus the estimate in revenues. So bakit nga ba nag-rally yung Tesla right now, no? Kahit ng pangit na earnings na. So, one of the main reasons is parang in-announce ni Elon Musk na they will start to produce yung mga affordable new EVs by early 2025. So, that's somewhat a product catalyst, no? So, willing na siya makipagsabayan with affordable EV manufacturers like BYD, like BYD and other emerging EV manufacturers, no? So, yun. At the same time, may newly released or may newly developed app sila or dine-develop na app na ride-hailing app. So, that's parang robo-taxi siya. Robo-taxi or some sort. So, that's a big catalyst, no, for Tesla. So, tingnan natin if masustain ng market yung optimism niya, no, end of day. So, syempre, after market, usually mga retailers lang din yung gumagalaw dyan and some algos na maybe triggered by some keywords, no. So, that's Tesla up 12.68%. This after market session. So, let's look at our main index. So, let's analyze our SPY. So, coming from this multi-day pullback, no? So, almost ilang days tong pullback na to. So, coming from this peak to trough, halos 14 trading days na pullback, no? So, let's look at the peak to trough decline. So, almost 5.65%. Gawin na natin 6%. So, that's a big decline, no? In just 2 weeks. But actually, that's kind of normal, no? And generally, looking at the big picture, the SPY is still on a big uptrend, no? On a major uptrend, still near all-time high, only away 5% near all-time high. So I think the uptrend will still continue, no? Given current market stimulus na coming from the not the Fed but more of yung mga silent liquidity injections, no? So later on discuss din natin, no, by looking at the Fed liquidity marker. So the SPY pulled back to the MA100 and bounced off near the MA100 line, no. So actually 500 was a critical area, a critical round number support area. Binreach siya no Friday, but good thing na nag-recover siya quickly, no, above $500 area for the SPY. So, tong gap na yan, this gap support was the NVIDIA earnings gap. So, this was Feb 21, Feb 22. So, yun yung parang nag-serve as the support area, no, or structural support area for the SPY. So, next resistance area for the SPY is at around 509, 510 level. So, looking at the lower time frame, we can see that gawin natin 30-minute time frame. Looking at the 30-minute time frame, we can plot a channel, no? A pullback channel for the S&P 500 considering your extended trading hours. So, looking at the moving average configurations on the 30-minute time frame, it's actually bullish. Diba? You have your 20, 50, 100 configuration, and every moving average is tending upward or sloping upward. So, high probability it will revisit 510 or test 510 as its current resistance level. In terms of structures, in terms of resistance structures, yung dating support level na 509, breach below, right now, it's gonna serve as your resistance area. So, resistance, support turned resistance na siya right now. So, how do we know na tapos na tong pullback na to? Main confirmation natin is a break above this channel, this resistance trend line of this pullback channel, once it breaks above it and sustains above it by around 2 to 3 days maybe, and creates this coil or somewhat a pullback toward your 50 MA on the 30-minute time frame or sa 1 hour time frame, then that's gonna be a good sign na tapos na yung market pullback natin. So what is causing this counter rally? One main reason is a weakening dollar. So for the past few days, the dollar is weakening and parang nahanap nyo na yung resistance level at the 106 area. 106.3, 106.5 area. So halos near the previous swing high, yung October 2023 high. So if this declines further, so that will ease financial conditions. The DXY will ease financial conditions and may provide liquidity to the markets. If a weak dollar equals good for risk assets. Another thing, one of the main contributors of this counter rally is a weakening US 10-year yield. So kind of toppish na yung formation niya at the resistance trend line of this channel. So you can plot a resistance trend line of this channel, this upward channel. So nasa upper range na siya. So this can serve as a resistance and may create this pullback. So a break below 4.6 is gonna be good for equities, But looking at the trend, still on sloping upward MA10, MA20, MA50, and MA100. So that's a bearish signal for equities actually. So bullish US 10-year bond yields, So maybe tatahakin niya talaga tong 5%, itetest niya ulit tong 5%. But actually, tong 4.6%, way back, ano na to ito yung 2008 high 2008, 2008 high and 2010 high. Yan, balikan natin. Ito, markahan natin. So this is the 2008, 2010 high. Yun. So nag-break above that. Then, I'm not sure about ganun. Dapat TNX ata. TNX much better. Yun. So, yun. 2008 high and 2010 high. Okay, so balik tayo dun. Main point is if you have a weakening bond yield, then that's gonna be a tailwind for equities. Okay, so another thing, US oil is dropping, so that's good for inflation data, So starting with April, nag-start yung price ng oil noong April at $86. Right now, down siya ng around, from peak to trough, around 4 to 5%. So if our US oil ends at a decline and weakened or decline toward $80, it might have an effect toward inflation to CPI and PPI. So for the past few months, actually, we can see that start of January up to end of January, nag-gain yung US oil by 12%. Start of February, ganun din. End of Feb, 8% up. And then March, starting with March, and then ending at March, eto. So halos 5% up din siya. So for the past few months, start to end of month, the US oil or your US oil is actually on a rally, So right now, we shall see if mag-decline yung US oil natin. So better if it declines, from start of month to end of month. So that's US oil. So syempre yun yung pinaka-importante for the Fed right now for inflation to drop, for them to cut rates. So speaking of rates, let's look at the CME watch tool. So actually still ang pinaka high probability rate cut is on September. September rate cut 90.5%. So actually nag-increase yung probability, 'di ba? So for the past 2 weeks, for the past week and past 2 weeks, halos nasa 70-80% lang siya. Right now nasa 90.5% na siya. At the 500 basis points, 525 basis points. So the start of the rate cut start of the rate cuts will most likely be on September 18, 2024. So, ayan. June and July rate cut is off the table, no? So, 15.5%. But actually, July is nasa 45.5%. Slightly increasing probability. So, what contributed to this higher probability in rate cuts on July? Eto, yung PMI, no? One of the main reasons, most likely. So, PMI data was released yesterday, kanina, no, around 9:45 p.m. S&P Global Composite PMI is still above 50, pero looking at your manufacturing PMI, so slightly or below 50 na siya actually, no. So below 50 is a cool data or a sign of a cooling economy in terms of manufacturing. So versus the consensus na 52, 49.9 na lang siya. But looking at your global services PMI, still above 50 but missed the consensus or the forecasted na 52, 'di ba? So that is a sign na nagko-cool na economy mo, and that is somewhat a recessionary signal. Hindi naman recessionary, but one of the main data na tinitingnan ng Fed right now is yung economic activity, no? So they give more importance right now in employment, in labor markets, and productivity rather than inflation, no? So kahit na sinasabi nila inflation, yada yada, parang lumalabas na mas may pake sila on the productivity and the labor market. So next, one of the main reasons as well is new home sales. Actually, eto good data to, no? You have more new home sales at 0.69 million versus the consensus of 0.66 million, no? So that's good. That data is good for home builders. So let's look at ITB if nag-react ba siya. So ayun, actually nag-react yung ITB natin from the data yesterday. So nag-hold yung MA100 natin, yung red line natin, and then bounced off at that area. So ITB. So Wednesday data, no? Wednesday key economic data releases, halos wala namang masyadong significant. Durable goods orders, if mag-decline yan, then that's gonna be a dovish data. So the market will take it as a good news, as a bad news na good news for equities. Parang ganun. So right now, dovish data or recessionary type of data is good news for the stock market. So on Thursday, we have GDP growth rate to be released, no? Advanced estimates to for Q1 to be released on Thursday. So if lower than consensus, that's gonna be a good sign for a rate cut, no? For the Fed, no? For the Fed. If lower than consensus, then good for the stock market. If higher, then if super higher than expected, then that's gonna be a bad news for the stock market, since lower probability for rate cuts, I mean, sorry. So initial jobless claims to be released on Thursday as well, no? So that's a labor market data. So on Friday, ito critical tong data on Friday. We will be having core PCE, yung pinaka-watched or pinaka-benchmark, pinaka-preferred na inflation data ng Fed yan, yung core PCE or PCE data, no? So, yun. So, if lower than consensus, then that's gonna be good. That's gonna be good for equities. If higher than consensus or flat or in line with consensus or in line with expectations, then that's gonna be a bad news for the market, no? So actually PPI is cooler, no, for the month of March, and PPI has a carryover toward your core PCE data, no? So if cool yung PPI mo, then most likely cool din yung core PCE natin. So if we have a good data, maybe Friday will be a bullish day for the stock market, no, for equities. So yun, that's our key economic events, no, and its main contribution to the markets. So, tapos na natin i-discuss yung SPY, actually Qs as well, hindi pa natin discuss. So, the Qs also bounced off the MA100, although pierced below the MA100 line, no, for on Friday. So heavily battered yung Qs natin since tech heavy, no, yung index na to. So, ayun, next key level for the Qs is most likely at 430, no? 430 level. Or pwede rin at 432. Etong previous support of this multi-day or multi-month trading range. Not multi-month, your 1 month trading range. 1 month trading range, I'm sorry. So, 33 bars to, 33 trading days. So, yun, it might revisit or counter rally toward your 432 level. So, let's talk about scenarios. So, two scenarios lang yan eh. Bounce off, then retest 433 as resistance. If mag-break above that and retest your 433 and recovers at this area, then that's gonna be a good news for our Qs. So, seasonality-wise, usually by around April to June, we are experiencing chops in the market. Usually, ko-consolidate lang yung market on a seasonality basis. No? Lalong-lalo na when presidential election year. So, during presidential election year, Q2 is actually a choppy environment for the tech sector and the Qs, no? Actually. So, seasonality-wise, SMH, our semiconductor sector is actually weak during the month of April, no? So, balik tayo sa Qs. So, yun nga, one scenario is break above, then sustains at or near 432, then keep upward, then break above 450. So, that's your bull case. Pero if it resists at your MA50 line, or pwede rin mag-resist at 433 and then create another wave downward, your next support level is at $400 area na, no? So, $400 area for your Qs, your Nasdaq 100 ETF. So, halos tutumbok lang din doon sa, sa previous all-time high. So, let's look at the anchored VWAP, our volume-based dynamic support. So, actually, bounce din siya doon eh. Bounce din siya doon sa anchored VWAP natin since the October 2023 low. So, a very good sign for the Qs. Nahanap niya na yung volume-based support niya. Okay. So, gusto nating mag-support na talaga to matapos na yung market pullback natin. So, yun din naman yung hihiling ng halos lahat ng market participants natin is a market pullback, no? So, that's our Qs. So, let's talk about mid-caps. So, good movement din with the mid-caps. So, for the past few weeks din, nag-pullback yan. So, from peak to trough, halos 7% yung drop niyan. And actually retesting this previous all-time high level. So, in terms of Wyckoff cycle, still on an early stage markup, no? So, this is a natural reaction, no? In a typical market cycle. So, usually, it tests again the previous resistance level. So, right now, our current resistance turn support level is the $518 area. So, halos tumutumbok din at your MA100 line. So, good movement right now for the mid-caps. So, the main reason why this mid-cap ETF pulled back dahil din dun sa higher for longer narrative, diba? So, lower probability for rate cuts, then higher interest rates for longer, no? So, higher for longer. So, if interest rates remain higher for longer, since your mid-caps is actually heavily reliant on debt, no? Borrowing debt to sustain its capex, opex, then tataas yung interest expense nila. If higher interest expense, then lower probability for profitability, no? So, ayun. That's your mid-caps. So, same with your small caps. So, strong pullback, no? From peak to trough, halos 10% na ata to, no? From peak to trough, 9%, 9.5%, 9.6%, halos 10%, no? So, from peak to trough, created this bull trap and continued continued its decline toward your MA100. So out of all the indices na tinitignan natin, actually, small caps yung pinakamahina, no? So, one red flag na nakikita ko is your CAF or yung CALF ETF natin, yung free cash flow or positive cash flow ETF natin na small cap based is actually doing good, no? Doing good versus your IWM. So IWM is telling you that there is something wrong with small caps. Maybe it's a credit problem or something like that. Pero looking at your CAF na greatly outperforming your IWM, then that's a big signal na it's a credit problem. It's a credit problem or a borrowing problem on your small caps. No? So yan, IWM. So yun yung sinasabi ng market natin. Yun yung sinasabi ng price, no? Based on the IWM and CALF ETF, which is your free cash flow or positive cash flow ETF, small cap ETF. Okay, so moving forward, let's talk about gold, our commodity. So, yun nga, kita natin kanina sa GLD natin. Your gold ETF or gold trust is on a decline, no, by around 2%. Right now, looking at XAU, USD, our gold, creating this inside bar structure, broke below this inside bar structure. So, starting from this mother bar, so nag-inside bar siya, creeped upward, about to eat the tail netong bearish candle na yan, but got faded. Got faded and a strong decline below MA20 is being experienced by gold. So if you're bearish on gold or you're waiting for a pullback, antayin mo na yung antayin mo na yung 2,200 level. So medyo deep, pero tignan natin, no, from this swing low to this swing high, 50% nito is at around, yun nga, halos tutumbok din at 2,200 level. So a deep pullback might be experienced by gold. Di natin alam if sharp pullback ba yan, like a big pullback na ganun, or will create a channel pullback, no, toward your MA50. We don't know. So PDBC, one of our inflation marker or inflation benchmark. So if PDBC is rallying, that's gonna be bad for equities. But good thing right now, it resisted at the resistance trend line. So we have a plotted resistance trend line with PDBC. So it resisted noong September 2023. After this, resisted at September 2023. Mark, after 1 month, the SPY rallied. The S&P 500 rallied. So yun yung isa sa mga natin, tinitingnan. So this is a leading signal. So this is a good sign, no, for equities na nag-resist siya at the resistance trend line and right now declining. So yun, PDBC. So discuss na rin natin yung US 10-year yield, di ba? So right now resisting at the channel. Let's talk about Fed liquidity, no? Fed liquidity, central bank liquidity. So right now, may liquidity drain lang tayo, no, coming from the TGA account. So it's tax season in the US. So maybe one of the main reasons bakit there is a liquidity drain in the financial system and the real economy. So yun. Fed liquidity, ito yung formula natin. It's on a two-week decline actually. It's on a 2-week decline. So what we want, no, for Fed liquidity to do is to recover above 6.4 trillion and much better if it breaks above this structure high at 6.51 trillion. So more liquidity, thicker bids, and more money in the financial system. So more money in the financial system, it helps your equities, no, or risk assets. Okay, so let's talk about Mag7 index. So itong Mag7 index natin, so it includes Amazon, Meta, Nvidia, Tesla, Microsoft, Apple, and Google. So ano to, no? Price weighted Mag7 index natin. Hindi siya market cap weighted index, no? So it created this head and shoulder pattern, no? Your left shoulder, your head, then your right shoulder. Although on the daily time frame, di mo yan makikita. On the 1 hour time frame, much more prominent or evident, no, yung reversal pattern na yun. So it created this reversal pattern way back, no, for around 1 month. Halos kaparehas lang ng cues, but your Mag 7 index is actually giving you a much more clearer signal for a market turn, no, nung last week. So you have this head, you have this right shoulder, your left shoulder, and then your neckline. So good thing right now, no, one of the green flags I am seeing with our Mag 7 index is it's gonna be, or it might be creating a bear trap, no, a bear trap. So basically, this is just a whipsaw event, no? If it recovers above MA50, that is considered as an MA50 long scoop. So that's a setup in our community, a bear trap opportunity, no, or a bear trap entry basically. So parang ginawa niya din nung way back nung 2020 Q3 2023, no? So it broke below this support trend line. So one day ano lang siya, one day decline, one day big candle decline, and then it recovered for the next 3 days. So if it creates this structure again, itong structure natin noong October 2023, then maybe the uptrend in our markets will be resumed, or mag-resume na siya. Okay, so let's move forward. Okay, so let's talk about PSE. So tapos na tayo with our US market. So far, ang main focus ko right now, since it's a heavy earnings release week. So tingnan natin yung dashboard natin. So earnings releases, so sobrang dami, 'di ba? Sobrang daming earnings releases, like right now Tesla, you will be having Microsoft by around Thursday, and Google as well. Yan, so let's go to our BTP Global Market dashboard. So we have Meta to be releasing its earnings on Wednesday post-market. We will be having IBM as well, not Mag 7, but more of hardware and tech sector. Next is, nasaan na ba yun? Sorry. Next is Google, and then Microsoft. So heavy tech, heavy earnings tayo this week. So for the past 2 days, big earnings na pwede mong tignan, or post-earnings display opportunity, is GE. So good market reaction with GE. Same with RTX, although na-fade lang din end of day, pero this is a potential play as well, no? So big picture, it's near all-time high, no? It's near all-time high, and it's under a great sector, under the aerospace and defense, no? So with the Iran-Israel war and the conflicts in the Middle East, so most likely they will benefit from that conflicts, no? Yung RTX and GE, mga aerospace and defense names natin. So next, let's talk about PSE. So this is the weekly heat map of PSE. Ito yung mga high value traded natin in the PSE. So we have Ali counter rallying by 4%, BPI 7.36%. So actually mga heavy hitters natin is mga financial names, no? Except BDO na down negative 1.91%. I don't know what's the problem, pero nahirapan yung BDO right now. ICT up by 5% this week. MWC is also up 15% this trading week. So we have CNPF plus or positive 5.23% this week. So URC 4.7%, still on a decline, no? Yung one of the consumer names natin, URC. So yun, that's our PSE. So tignan na lang din natin yung index. So PSE is actually bouncing off the 6,400 level. This support level, no? This support level. So ito yung trading range nung March to July 2023. So this is your box range. This is serving as your support. Actually also your previous resistance of this double bottom of some sort. Double bottom reversal pattern of some sort. So this is now serving as your support level, yung neckline nitong double bottom. So that's PSEI. Maybe the next resistance level for PSEI is at 6,600 level. No? So next is our crypto heat map. So kakatapos lang ng Bitcoin halving last week around Saturday, Friday, no? So April 20, sakto, no? Sakto sa 420, no? So Bitcoin is tignan natin weekly basis. So yan, this is the performance of our crypto names and weekly basis. So up yung Bitcoin by 4.21%. Ethereum is also up 6.25%. HBAR, Hedera is up 61%. So there is a big news coming from BlackRock ata. So 61% up yung Hedera. So Algorand 28%. BNB also up 14%. And other meme coins like Shiba, Pepe, Bonk, mga heavy gainers natin, no, in the crypto market. So, ayan, maybe the market is taking it positively, yung Bitcoin halving, no? Kahit na your risk asset is on a decline, no? So, resilient yung BTC natin right now. So, usually, every Bitcoin halving, consolidate mo na yan. It's actually creating a base or something like that. So, for the past three Bitcoin halving, yung 2012 lang, yung 2012 lang, yung nag-rally, yung BTC, no? BTC USD, all-time history. Sorry, wait lang. Ito, balikan natin. Balikan natin. Ito yun 2012. Saan ba yung indicator natin na may Bitcoin halving? Halving event. Yun, November 28, 2012. So, gawin natin logarithmic para naman makita siya. So, maybe ito yung ginagawa ng market right now, yung 2012 Bitcoin halving. So, it was the first halving, 2012. Then, the next halving was on 2016. So, 2016, nag-consolidate, nagkaroon na pullback, and then recovered after many months. Next is the 2020 halving. So, the 2020 halving, nag-consolidate muna again for many months. So, 2 out of 3 halvings, you might experience some consolidation, no, or pullbacks muna, no. So maybe right now, same thing, maybe it will create consolidation, we don't know, pero that's the that's the data, no, or the historical data every halving. Yun. So in terms of our US market, ang pinakamalalakas sa sector pa rin is energy, utilities, and financials. We can see that sila yung pinaka-resilient right now. In terms of market groups, you have gold miners, airline names, NatGas, China equities, aerospace and defense, banks, and then metals and mining, insurance. So yan yung mga laging nasa top 10 natin. Yun. So I think updated na tayo. So it's around 7:59 p.m., 8 p.m. in the Philippines, no? So halos 1 hour and a half na lang before the market opens in the US. So take advantage nyo. Take advantage nyo yung counter rally. Maybe it's just a 5-day counter rally, or pwedeng another start or a resumption of the bigger uptrend, no? So dami ring nag-aantay ng pullback na to, no? Dami ring nag-aantay ng pullback na yan. If mag-rally yan further above 513, 514, maybe FOMO will kick in and resume this rally, no, toward 540, even 550, no? So we don't know, but during presidential election year, high probability that the market will be at a positive and will outperform. So yan, that's our weekly or midweek market review. So I hope na nakatulong ako sa inyong lahat, no, in the US market, PSE, and crypto markets as well. So, yun. Good luck, everyone. Goodbye, and God bless.